Could the United States and Iran, two nations seemingly locked in an endless cycle of tension, have just struck a deal? What if I told you a tentative agreement has been reached, one that could dramatically shift the landscape in the Middle East and beyond, but it all hinges on one man's final decision? Before we dive into this developing story, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you don't miss out on crucial updates like this. Now, let's get into it. According to sources speaking to multiple news outlets, the United States and Iran have indeed reached a tentative agreement. This isn't a full peace treaty, far from it. What they've reportedly agreed to is a 60-day Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, aimed at extending the shaky ceasefire currently in place. This ceasefire, as we know, has been incredibly fragile, a delicate balance that could tip at any moment. The fact that both sides are willing to even consider extending it suggests a significant, albeit cautious, shift. But the implications of this potential deal go even further. Crucially, the agreement also reportedly includes provisions to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. For those who might not be familiar, the Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical choke points for global oil transit. A significant portion of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow waterway, making its accessibility and security paramount to the global economy. Any disruption or closure here can send shockwaves through energy markets, affecting gas prices and economic stability for nations worldwide. So, if a deal is on the table, what's the catch? The reporting indicates that while negotiators on both sides have seemingly reached a consensus, the final approval rests with none other than President Trump. His signature, or his veto, will be the ultimate determinant of whether this tentative agreement moves forward or collapses. This places the president in a position of immense influence, with the power to either de-escalate a volatile situation or maintain the status quo of animosity. What does this mean for the United States? It could signify a potential pathway towards reduced tensions in the Middle East, a region that has been a persistent source of concern and military engagement for decades. A stabilized Strait of Hormuz means greater predictability in global oil supplies, potentially benefiting American consumers and businesses. It could also be seen as a diplomatic win, demonstrating a capacity for negotiation even with adversaries. However, the devil is often in the details. We need to understand the full scope of the concessions made by each side, and what guarantees are in place to ensure compliance. Who is affected by this? Beyond the immediate parties, Iran and the United States, this development has far-reaching consequences. Regional powers like Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the UAE will be closely watching, their own security concerns intricately linked to the stability of the Strait and the broader Middle Eastern geopolitical landscape. European allies, who have often advocated for a more diplomatic approach with Iran, will also be taking note. And of course, the global economy, particularly the energy sector, will be directly impacted by any changes to the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. What are the possible outcomes? If Trump approves the deal, we could see a period of relative calm, a de-escalation of immediate threats, and a more predictable energy market. This could open doors for further negotiations on more complex issues. Conversely, if Trump rejects it, we could see a return to heightened tensions, potentially increasing the risk of military confrontation and further disruptions to global trade. There's also the possibility of internal political fallout within Iran, depending on how hardliners react to any perceived concessions. And we must consider the implications for ongoing international sanctions and nuclear proliferation concerns, which are inextricably linked to the US-Iran relationship. This is a fluid situation, and the coming days will be crucial in determining the ultimate fate of this tentative agreement. The world will be watching closely to see what decision President Trump makes, and what it ultimately signifies for the future of the Middle East and global stability. So, what do you think about this potential deal? Is this a sign of de-escalation, or is there more to this than meets the eye? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This is a developing story, and we'll continue to bring you the latest updates as they unfold. Stay informed, stay engaged.